So I'm thinking, what can I say? I said, well, obviously, he was born first. He's got the fair skin and the blue eyes. So I stayed in a little longer. I got the bronze body and the rhythm.
Cecil, what can you say about Cecil? He's the best.
Oh my gosh, we're on the spot.
Happiest man in the world.
Yes.
Great to be his
The
friend.
best laugh in the world, the most
Awesome.
positive. Yes. Awesome. The best.
I'll be just like you, Cecil.
Oh, all right. He was just talking about you guys. Most of it was good.
Where's the money? This is the first place in Concord, Ohio, to have so many loving people. It just doesn't happen. I'm acutely aware of that. I'm glad to see that you all came just to be here to spend some time with me. I love you dearly.
But many years ago, in a world devoid of internet or cable television, there was this guy who projected the beauty of his spirit onto the whole world for us to see and to share and to love and embrace. And that event has made all the difference in my life. And that's why I love you, Dad.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you you're my hero? You're everything I wished I could be. I can fly higher than an eagle because you're the wind beneath my wings. That's the truth.
Wow. Our parent did something right.
Oh, God, yes.
But it's my turn to speak now.
Remember that I love you. Please remember that I love you. Please remember that I love you. Hard to say sometimes, hard to say sometimes, hard to say sometimes, but I love you.
Halloween. He drove me to everyone's house to make sure I cleaned the egg off their windows. Then I had to clean our own windows when my friends came back in retribution and egged their house. Yeah. He also put me in the back of the car, in the back seat, and drove me out to the detention home like Miss Daisy. Told me I would end up here if I didn't stop misbehaving. Now, I don't egg houses anymore, but I don't do what I can't own. And daddy lesson number 7, unconditional love. And this is the biggest lesson of all. It is the legacy that I am passing to my kids, that Chris and Cindy also share. No matter where we are or what we do, his love and pride are steadfast. His love has allowed me to soar, to be fearless and live my passions, going beyond imaginary boundaries. As the song goes, he has always walked a step behind. Hey, Dad, it might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I have it all here in my heart. I want you to know I know the truth. I would be nothing without you.
Wow. Our parent did something right.
Oh, God, yes.
But it's my turn to speak now. Yeah, you can say anything you want. That's my Italian buddy here. We the same birth date. I'm a year old.
Cecil and I would go back 54 years. In 1964, we met. We worked at the Shamrock. Of course, during those years, things changed, one thing and the other. But the last 2 or 3 years, we started getting together more often and trying to teach him how to catch a perch and walleye. He's learning. He did good. And but when we get together, we plan that he'll ask me, "What do you have going? What do you need a hand with?" And I'll come up with something. When we get into the house, the next thing you know, we pour a cup of coffee, put out a couple of cookies. 2.5 hours later, the same cup of coffee is cold. You want more coffee? No, I'm okay. I happened to see that his birthday was on the 17th of May. I said, wait a minute, mine is too, but he's a year older. But we don't forget each other.
No.
Cecil.
Thank you.
Now, take care.
Okay.
So this is a quick ode to my father, tracing 80 years of Cecil King my idol, and the original King Castor. Cecil King grew up in a double-wide shotgun shack in rural Tennessee. This is a fact. He retired to live the rest, or at least this portion of his American dream, off the 5th green of a world-class golf course. That's progress. Along the way, he remained a pioneer who fathered 3 living children, who have opportunities to pioneer things he could barely even dream about back then. But dream he did. He walked the streets of Little Italy in the 1950s before it was even imaginable for a black man to do so. I had issues doing that in law school in the 90s. Pioneer. We played chess, we played cribbage. These are games of the mind, when most children were busy playing checkers and riding big wheels. I watched my idol over the years as the basketballs changed to tennis balls, and the tennis balls changed to golf balls. You know? And the one thing that stayed with me about my father the most is his unabated lust for life and his dogged determination in all things. In basketball, I'll never forget his outside accuracy and his hustle. In tennis, I will never forget our epic battles. Like I told you before, if I was the least bit hungover, he got me. All right? So I had to be at my best to beat this man who came to be known as the human backboard. Playing cards, I'll never forget his gleeful grins as he threw down Trump with a satisfied whack on the table. This grand flourish, you know, it was just amazing. And this is a testament to dogged determination.
Okay.
That's that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Okay.
You're welcome.
All right.
You're very welcome. Your turn, man.
Okay. All right. I have had so much that happened to me in my life that only God could have staged. I asked myself so many times, starting with Chris in the 2nd grade, the lady told me, you need to have more of a challenge for him. He's just coming in at 2nd grade. First thing, come in, talk like an adult. He tells me how nice I look, how pretty I am. I said, you're telling me I got to do away with him. She said, why? I said, at 2 years old, I can't have that competition. I want to do that thing, but yet people came to my rescue and said, what can I do? I said, take him to Hawkins. I said, I can't afford that. She said, take him anyway. Go up there and talk. I went up and talked to the headmaster. They said at the time, we don't have programs for minorities, and we can't handle that right now. So I went home. About 2 weeks later, the lady that was dusting in the study called me. She identified herself as Mrs. Hurd. Her husband is the head of Cleveland Clinic Surgery. I told my husband what I had seen and what I thought about you, and he asked me if I wanted to help. And I told him yes. So they called me. Chris got into Hawkins School when they went co-ed. Cecilia got into Hawkins School, the first Afro-American to graduate, girl to graduate from the school. Wow. All my life, I've had people come and be a very vital part of it. Joe is one of them. I had a guy, Don Stellar. When I came to interview for the Diamond Shamrock Company, I interviewed with 7 guys. When I went back to the personnel office, which one of these guys would you like? I said, I think I can work with Don. She stood up and hugged me. She said, that's amazing. A young man with so much sense of character. Because that's what Don is. We were inseparable for 50 years. So he started a nursery out in Madison. He said, Cecil, you're going to work with me? He said, I've got to go around and introduce you to the merchants so they know you if you have to exchange some gifts and do all that stuff. I said, okay. So the first place we went into, they greet him, Don, how are you? I'm fine. Who's that with you? He said, excuse me, back up a minute. Who am I? You are Don. How long have you known me? For years. He said, damn it, you don't recognize my twin. So I'm thinking, what can I say? I said, well, obviously, he was born first. He's got the fair skin and the blue eyes. So I stayed in a little longer. I got the bronze body and the rhythm. Another time, I'm in Orlando. and I'm coming back to Cleveland, and I hear all this noise in the terminal. These guys are just coming down the terminal, making all kinds of noise, giving all kinds of signs. He gets to me, he said, "Hey, bro," and I said, "Hi." He directs his group to come over. Now, it's about 15 or 20 people. He come over there. He sits down. He started talking to me. He said, "Where you from?" I said, "Cleveland." He said, "I used to live in Cleveland about 30 years ago." He said, "But you wouldn't know my family because I'm Italian, I'm Hungarian, I'm Slovenian, I'm all these things." I said, "But you tan beautifully." He said, "And so do you." He said, "But," I said, "Where were you?" And he said, "I was out in the Polish area and out there in Madison and out there in the area." I said, "Well, you better try me." He said, "But you can't know anybody in my family." I said, "Well, tell me the name." He said, "Kenny Cocktail." I said, "Ann, Wendy, and Kenny Jr." He said, "You know all these people?" Drinks. He started getting drinks, all everybody having drinks, just having a great time. Look up on the TV monitor, and there's Mike Wilbon. He said, "That guy, I like that guy. He's a great sportcaster." I said, "He should be." He said, "Why? I helped train him." He said, "You know him?" I said, "Yeah, I know Mike Wilbon." He said, "Drinks, more drinks." He said, this guy said, "Where are you from?" I told him again, I'm from Tennessee, I'm from Trenton, and then I came to Ohio. Now I'm going to Little Italy, to Mama Santa's, all the time. I'm sitting there eating. He brings the people that's in the back of the kitchen out to watch me sit there with a bunch of Italians. And he see me doing these gestures, I'm talking all the thing. They come on and say, "You know what? Where are you from, really?" He said, "You wouldn't survive here if you didn't move your hands like us." Came in and said, "We need a bocce player. Is there any bocce players in here?" I stood up and said, "Oh, no." "How do you know that game?" So I go out there and I start beating them all. They put me back in the door and say, "Go back and eat." See, we don't want you out here. But that's where it's been. I've had so many opportunities to meet people, and especially telling her how my life has been. I know, and believe me, and my mom helped me do this. And I have to preface this for the guys. My mom worked so hard to do so many things for me. But one thing I got from her, and that I understood, and I learned to accept, she said, "Cecil, the best commodity on this planet is a woman." I said, "Oh my gosh." She said, "Always believe in that." I said, "I will." And then to this day, not to hurt you guys anywhere, you might get slapped tonight or next week sometime. but she says women are the most precious things on this planet. And I like that. And she also had something for me. She was a heavy-set lady, had difficulties getting groceries home, and I would help her. I would run 2 miles and come back, come 2 miles, and just help her to get the groceries in. So one day she stopped me and she said, "Cecil, God will make a lot of people, but He won't make one better than you," as I say. Just as nice, but never better. And I thank her for that, just because that's what she felt. So when you get all these things from input from different people, not to throw names out there, but I've been able to have conversations with some of the most high-profile people on the planet, starting with the Stoffers, the Penskes, the Bossoms, the Cass, and talk with them. And the thing that they would come back with, Jim Jones, one time, he said, "Cecil, let me tell you something. I've seen you 3 times, and each time I see you, you got a smile on your face, and you're helping somebody." He said, "That's a treasure." He said, "You have that naturally." So you should understand, you don't have to have a lot of money, but what you have, your disposition is invaluable. So I kept getting that feedback from people, and I've been encouraged from Mike Bilbon to Betsy to write something about all of these things that I've had in my life to happen. And I'm doing that. I'm in the process of doing that, and she's going to help me. I got a title, temporary title of the book is, "Oh, Yes, We Can." And that's all inclusive, because I mean every ethnicity on this planet I've had some association with. And if it were not for the we, there could be no me. People have helped me on my journey. And that's why I'm so happy to vicariously include you guys with it, so you can hear something from the heart. I'm so thankful. When people ask me why I'm so happy, I said, I've had so many things to happen. They're so positive. Now we're playing the game. It's only 4 seconds on the clock, and we're down 45 to 46. And I told the coach, "Please let me take this last shot." He said, "Well, where's Fred going to be?" I said, "Behind me." I'll be leading just throw it so it just drop one time before half court, and I get my hands on it, and I'm going to take the shot. They all agreed to do that. He threw it over, got it at half court, and I made the shot. Now I hear Court Milton say, "Oh, damn it." I told you not to let him shoot the shot. He came in and talked to me. He said, "Cecil, I just tried to get into your head because you won the game about 3 times this year shooting the last shot of the game. So I felt that you would do that. So you were in my head, and I wanted to get into your head. And that we played the game, and it was such a wonderful time to hear the coach come over and say, that's what sports is all about. I've never seen anybody that wheel the ball into the basket as much as you do when you play this game. So I had just had great times, growing up and playing these games. I made all of the things I had to play with because we were so poor. In retrospect, I look at my innate ingenuity to say I had to make these things. I had a rope for volleyball. I had horseshoe pits, that I made, and I had jumps. I took cane poles and put little nails in them so we could jump. Most of all was my basketball goal. We had a cold shack and 3 cold buckets. So I took 1 cold bucket, took the bottom out of it, and nailed it to the cold shack. I had 5 nails in it. I said if I put 1 more, the shack is going to fall. But
So let's raise a glass to an incredible man, an incredible father, an incredible partner. Just, Dad, you're everything to all of us.
Yep.
Thank you.
God
Thank
bless
you.
you. Happy birthday. Cheers.
I love you all.
And he means that too. Oh yeah,
Yes,
we
we
can.
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cecil. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank all of you.
Please remember that love.
Okay. It has been
Waiting
many
for
a
you to
year.
come up for air. Yeah,
Many a year. I'm good.
Time.